Welcome back to the channel. I'm Joe, and this week's video I'm going to give you a little update on the revamped front suspension on the 4Runner. Stay tuned. Now, since we've redone the front suspension, I really haven't had the chance to do any off-roading at all with it, but we have done several road trips, and obviously we've been driving it a ton. And as you can see, we've got the 285s on it right now, so I figured I would take the time to make you guys a little video, tell you how it's kind of been performing, how the 285s are fitting, and where we ended up kind of as far as the amount of lift and how the alignment all worked out with all the new alignment hardware and with the SPC upper control arms. We can start first with the tire fitment. The 285s look awesome in there. Back ones fit, obviously. And there's been no rubbing. I haven't been running front mud flaps for a long time, and I did do some trimming on the inner plastic here, which I knew I was gonna have to do, you know, lifted life. And really at like really heavily clocked tires pointing to the driver's side, when I'm in reverse, I will get a little bit of hitting, a little clicking there, if you will, but only like if I'm a little off camber. Like my driveway is gravel, so when I'm rocking around on the gravel, it will hit that a little bit when I'm backing out. But other than that, they fit no problem. The other side has no rubbing issues at all. So we're over on the passenger side right now, and you can't tell, but up there, I actually have a 1/4 inch thick plastic lift spacer. And that's, like I said, on the passenger side. And then down below, the bottom coil bucket is set on the second from the bottom perch. You can take that little C-clip out of the 5200s and change where that perch sits. So on both sides, it's on the second from the bottom. Should give a little bit more lift, but it actually adds some preload, which will help with added weight, like a big winch mount in there, steel skid plates, you know, some rock sliders. So that will help the suspension. It will make it ride a little bit stiffer, but again, lifted life is just some of the sacrifices you have to make sometimes. On the driver's side, the suspension is all exactly the same. We have the 5200 with the 3rd gen Tacoma TRD off-road spring. Actually, I will drop links down below if you guys are wondering what this suspension is. I will shoot, there's 2 links, kind of a pre-installation build where I talk about what parts are going on this, why they're painted ridiculous colors, and then the video of us actually doing the install. And there's a lot of stuff going on because we had to cut out all the cam alignment hardware. And actually we'll do 3 videos. I will drop the video down below of the sway bar spacers as well, so because I forgot that those are on there. Anyway, on the driver's side, because of the weird lean, I actually went with a 3/8 thick spacer, not 3/8 lift. Like the spacer itself is 3/8 of an inch. It's weird that way, that the thickness of the spacer does not correlate to how much lift you actually get. Hashtag geometry and physics. But yeah, so because they have the passenger side lean, because that's where the gas tank is, they always want to lean to that side. We added a little bit more lift to that side, and that was actually after I had put the suspension on and we drove it around for a few days so everything could settle, and we took a bunch of measurements. We decided to drop it back down and add those spacers in, and it leveled it out right where I want, to the point where on the passenger side we are sitting like perfectly level. Now, the way that the bodies on these are designed, the front lip of the front fender sits lower to the ground than the rear, so they always look like they have more rake, plus the front end is really rakish. So if you really want to tell how level it's sitting, measure from the ground to the bottom of the rocker panel. There's a lip, like a pinch weld down there, and basically this on the passenger side is, well, with the 285s, is 20 inches front and back, which would tell you that there's essentially no rake whatsoever. There might be just a 1/4 of an inch, depending on like how much the suspension has been preloaded from hopping up into my driveway or how much gas is in it. If we go over to the driver's side, you're not going to be able to tell, obviously, from the video, and we can't go outside because it's super windy. Depending on how much gas I have, again, the rocker panel measurements, I'll get about 1/4 of an inch of rake, and with half to a empty-ish tank of gas, the front side to side is like 1/8 difference. So we've essentially gotten rid of the gas tank lean. You're never going to get rid of all of it because your gas tank is constantly changing. And the rear fenders, side to side, depending on the gas, are almost completely identical all the time. Again, you can never get it perfect because of the gas tank. But overall, this thing is sitting exactly how I wanted, and it looks just phenomenal in person. Next up, let's talk about alignment. We've got the SPC adjustable control arms with all new hardware on the lower control arms, so we should have been able to get this dialed in really well. And I'll just quickly kind of scan over some of my measurements. This is the after alignment. It drives pretty darn good. It does pull a little bit on the highway. It's a little, I don't know, floaty, if you will. And further research has come to, I don't know, I've found out that right now I'm at 3.2 degrees caster. And with the amount of lift that I have, which I don't actually know because I don't know where I started, plus it was really old saggy suspension, I'm assuming I'm about 3 to 3.5 inches, depending on the corner and depending how much gas I have, based on how much lift I got from my 2-inch Old Man Emu springs and how level it's sitting now. Anyway, I went ahead and adjusted that upper ball joint per SPC's instructions. It's like the second setting for 3 inches of lift. I may end up go ahead and crank that over another degree and take it back to the alignment shop before winter. I'm not real sure what I'm gonna do yet. I may just do it and then check my toe, because theoretically it should just affect the toe. Theoretically, the famous last words. And I could correct the toe with the tie rod end. So only time will tell will we end up with that. Little tip for you guys: after you get an alignment, go ahead and grab a paint pen or something and make a bunch of marks on all of your alignment hardware. So if you want to keep track of if it's moving or whatever, you can go back and crank on it and line it back up to where it was before. If you have adjustable upper control arms, you can do the marks on there as well. Alright guys, I know that was a lot of information to digest. If you haven't seen the videos about what the suspension actually is, and in the install videos, definitely check those links out down below. And if you go through my back catalog, you can even see the suspension that I had on before that, which was another cobbled together 2nd gen Tacoma TRD off-road front suspension with spacers, and that's how we roll around here. Anyway, it's been doing good. Obviously, with winter coming, I'm gonna get a really good video put together for you guys. Some rollers and hopefully a little bit of mild Iowa off-road stuff. Maybe some awesome drone footage if I can get Joe to bring the drone out and to video it. But I had the 285s on there still from a camping trip that we took. That I didn't need them, but poser life, had to put those on there. And we're gonna start pulling the camper again this weekend, so we're gonna go back to the daily driver 285s plus the fuel mileage around town with Mrs. HSW running around everywhere. Is awful. Besides the video links down below to the other suspension videos, there will be links to Instagram and Facebook where I post a lot more pictures of this on a much more regular basis, not just once a week. Comments, questions, down below, and as always, feel free to email me, hawkeyeskunkworks@gmail.com. If you haven't subscribed, do that. If you haven't given the video a thumbs up, do that, and be sure to turn the notifications on. So until next Sunday, thank you for watching, take care, goodbye.